put the effort, the ability into what truly matters, and as I clock in, I really do need to get on here, and I really do need to start putting in these videos and putting in this kind of time to where no matter my challenges, I can overcome them. You see, a lot of the times when you're going through challenges, things are not going to work perfect. They are not going to be a part of your challenge. But when you truly persist, when you truly start to put your mind in a place where your mentality starts to overcome it, you will start to see parts of you open up that you didn't even realize you had. See, the thing is that sometimes life's going to make you feel like you want to quit. It's going to make you feel like the challenges that you're facing off against are greater than what you have within. But it's up to you to find that way, that method of achieving your dreams and your goals. It's not just on a singular basis. What focus, knowledge, and discipline is about, it's about finding that part of your journey. It's about finding the place where no matter your challenges, you can find it within yourself, yeah? And a lot of times we lose ourselves. We don't necessarily lose the things that are going on around us. We sign ourselves up for things that would ultimately take us away from our dreams. They take us away from our goals. We sign ourselves up for positions, and we seek out things that come from the outside. They don't necessarily come from within. And what ultimately happens if you start to seek them out from within yourself is your vibration starts to build within the universe. Your vibration starts to seek out after you. And gaining that capability, gaining that ability that you know that no matter what challenges you're facing off against, no matter what your purpose is, you can utilize that. See, as I'm out here on the road, as I'm out here focused on driving, I'm talking about the mentality that it takes to utilize this universe. What does it mean to allow positivity to influence your life? What does it mean to allow yourself that form of shape, that form of purpose? And it means that when you have challenges, those challenges become your growth. It means that when you have things that aren't working out for you, you find that way when there is no way. It's amazing. I was listening to a interview with David Goggins, and inside of this interview, there was this guy. He said to David Goggins, had asked him the question. Inside of that question, David Goggins had asked him, "So, are your goals to be wealthy?" And the guy said, "I'm already well off." And said, "Okay, I assume you have a jet and you have all of this stuff." And then the guy said, "Yeah, I have all the things that are needed in wealth." And so he said, "Then you got to work on other parts of yourself. You got to work on the part of yourself where you're pushing your health, where you're pushing your mind." So if we push our mind, if we push our ability within ourselves to use our gifts, it's so funny that I'll watch a video, and inside of that video, when David Goggins is speaking his mind, he's running. And this is because that's a comfortable place. That's a place where David Goggins feels comfortable to use his gifts to open up his outlet. And the question that I have for all of you is, don't we also have outlets? Don't we also have challenges? Don't we also have things that start to come up against us that will ultimately ask, how can you achieve your dreams? See, I was about to start my Kundalini training, and the day before I was about to start my Kundalini training, I walked outside and my rental vehicle had been towed. I was in a place where I had purchased the books, but it wasn't the time. The place is to allow that process in the universe to work for you. See, if you start to understand this universe, if you start to understand how it works, you also have to understand that it's going to work in your favor, that the time wasn't right, that the process wasn't in that place. And as I get on here, as I sit in front of the camera, it amazes me, because it's not about that, guys. It's about being yourself. It's about allowing the challenges that you're facing to help you to grow, to be able to understand that when challenges come, you're going to face off against parts that aren't going to work perfect, okay? Life is not always going to be the way you want it to. It's going to be the way it's meant to be. It's going to be the way that it can help you to grow, okay? But you got to grow by embracing it. You got to grow by allowing and to adapt to be yourself. The thing that makes me really happy is that I have gone through processes inside that make me understand exactly where I am. That everything happened for a reason. That what is meant to happen is happening. And why the people that I helped happened. So when you face challenges, remember that those challenges, they ultimately bring you closer towards yourself. And so as I'm out here delivering this food right now, I ask myself, how many times have I taken this corner? And I'm thinking probably about 150 times. And maybe 300 times. I don't know. But why does that matter in the total bulk of it? Is it about the process or the singular minute? And is it about the minutes that matter, or is it about the total whole bulk? And the answer to that question, I believe inside of my mind, is both. Every minute matters. Every moment that you have, every minute that you go through challenges, what you face off against on a daily basis, it all matters. But you have to matter from within. Your focus has to become such a thing that no matter what your challenges, you still find a way. You know, it's kind of interesting. I set up this tablet in the car. I set up this this job, this tablet, so that the job would adapt, right? So if you want things to happen in your life, then you have got to put in the time. You got to put in the grind. And inside of that grind, there's going to be a lot of challenges. Do you stop because you have challenges? Do you stop because of what's going on to you? And I'll be right back. Just going to drop off this food. If you want to do anything well, don't give up. That's all I gotta say. If you want to move through this life in a way in which you're not held to other people's challenges, then don't give up. If you want to be yourself and be who you are within, do not give up. I know that the world is going to test you. I know that it's going to ask you what you're made of. It's going to try to tear you down. It's going to try to break everything in front of you and force you to have to rebuild yourself. But don't give up. Don't give in. Don't ever throw in the towel on your life. Don't ever throw in the towel no matter who or what comes around you. Don't ever give up on yourself, because when you are working through your challenges, at least you're growing. Well, at least you're not allowing yourself to be held back. And that's what I realized when I was selling cars, is that I was being held back from this dream. I was being held back from being able to communicate. And a lot of the times when you work in a position, they want to silence you. They want to silence the ability for you to be yourself. And if you are in a position where you're not able to be yourself, I urge you to look at yourself and ask yourself, is that what you truly want? Is that what you're truly wanting to achieve? Because you can achieve being yourself. You can find people that want to be a part of your life for you being you. You will find a lot of times when those challenges come, those little bits, those people will show up in your life. But it's ultimately up to you to find the way to achieve it. And as you do achieve it, as you do start to use what challenges you face off against, you will find that those challenges make you who you are. And, as I'm enjoying being out here delivering food, I'm also asking you guys, how do you clock into work? What kind of positions do you have? What do you do on a daily basis that makes you who you are? Not what you do for others, but how do you grow? What part of oneself grows? And I see so many people that end up becoming slaves to others instead of using those things to catapult them to a place inside. And so I want to start doing that. I want to start looking at how life exists, how the universe is working in your guys' lives. You know, I have mine. I have an amazing blessing to be here. You know, and I could think about so many times that I've almost lost my life. That almost it was about to be, that's it. It was about to be the last chapter, the last page, but there's some way or somehow something would happen, and I was able to make it through that chapter. I was able to be oneself. You know, it's and I'm still working on being oneself. But it takes time, guys. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of ability. It's gonna take every part of who you are if you want to be yourself. It's gonna take every part of your being to go inward. It's going to take every part of who you are within to truly find that way, because it's meant to. But do you stop yourself from getting there is a question I have. You know, it's not just about today. It's not just about how. It's about when you start working on yourself. So here we go again, another order, getting ready to pick one up here. If you ever wondered if you can actually make a living doing rideshare, you can. It's not easy, but you can do it. You can truly get out there and you can put in the effort in the processes itself. Like, here I am going to pick up another order. I'm out here driving like I love to every single day. I'm out here driving because that's what I do. Okay? About 3,000 plus food deliveries, 15,000 plus rideshare customers, 3.5 years of telesales, 5 years of car sales, okay? 8 years of meditation. What's it all worth? You got to go inwards, guys. You got to put the effort in. You got to put the time in on a daily basis. You got to punch in on that clock. And even if you don't got a boss, you still got to put in the time. You know, it's never going to come to you. It's always going to take everything you got. It's always going to take you. And what needs to happen is you got to be all in. You got to be in on your life. You got to be in on your ability, and then your dreams will become possible. And I think from being homeless, I learned that even the simplest things, guys, even the simplest things matter. Even the simplest part of yourself is truly where you grow. And I've given up so much of who I am that it makes me realize that being yourself is all that matters, you know. And I hear all of these motivational speakers talk about the process, about the mission goal. What is your goal? What does it mean to be yourself? The thing that I feel like a lot of them are not talking about is what it means to survive you. They want to give you this positive message. They want to have this part that nobody else has. They want to speak this one word that might change your life. That the only part that will change your life truly is if you realize that you can achieve it no matter the challenges you face off against. Once you start to see that for yourself, once you start to put your head down and you start to grind on the things that truly matter. And I could sit here and talk about energy for hours. I could sit here and talk about what it means. But what will that do for you is the question I have. What would me putting in that kind of effort do for you? And so as I go pick up this delivery, every single delivery, I always say, have a blessed day. And the reason why I say have a blessed day is because when you are communicating with somebody, when you're picking up food, you want to leave the energy in that place in such a way that it blesses that person. Because the more people that you bless, the more people that you truly want to have a great life, the more people that you want to have an ability to overcome challenge, the more that this world becomes just a little bit lighter. And if we can make other people's world lighter, then so will ours as well to become lighter. And so here I am delivering food. I will be right back. All right, got another food delivery here in the car, ready to go. There we go. A lot of times I'll just sit there and I'll listen to podcasts and I'll hear these people say, like, go after your dreams, go after your goals, shut down everything else that's not that. Go all in. That's all great to say all of that. That's all great to want to achieve all of that. That's all great. But what is it going to take for you to start to be able to do that? What is it going to take for you to turn on a video camera in a car while you're driving, start speaking your mind? A lot of people, like, I used to enjoy when I was doing car sales because people come to my office and ask me about the universe. They'd ask me about how the universe works and what it means to utilize this universe. It's never going to be perfect, guys. It's never going to be every single thing that. You have to learn to evolve with your challenges. You have to learn how to continue even when things aren't perfect. Because there's no such thing as a perfect life. There's no such thing as a perfect place. What there is a perfect you. It's perfect just within its challenges. It's perfect when you're facing off against things, when the challenges that you're going through are put in front of you. And it's perfect to be unperfect, okay? And it's perfect that we have these things to face off against, because if we didn't have challenges, and we were given every single thing, then what is life worth, right? So if every single thing that you want in your life, and don't take me wrong, it's not nice to have things, okay? What I'm saying is, what would you appreciate if you didn't have to put in the time and the effort into your mentality? Because like that guy said, a lot of people's goals is just to make enough to survive. It's just to make enough to work through themselves. But is it truly working through yourself when you're working for somebody else? They give you a paycheck and you go home? Or where are you getting robbed, is what I'm trying to say. What is it that we can do that will change our mentality to where we start to have a wealthy mentality? What kind of position? I mean, there's a lot of people that will go work a register, and they'll work in a grocery store, and you can see them all the time, and they're just barely there. They're in the register, and they're checking you out. But is that what the company's dream was? Was it just that there would be somebody checking people out? Yes, it's a position to fill, but if you truly enjoy the position, then that's the right position for you. But if your dreams and goals are to achieve more than that, you hearing what I'm saying? Then you have to look inwards. You have to look at how it can become possible. How can your dreams become a reality, is what I'm trying to say. What does it take for your dreams to become truly your dreams? And a lot of times people, they'll start their dream, and as soon as they get into stopping you from your dreams, what's happening is the universe truly tests you to see what you're made of. It's testing you to understand if you understand this universe, okay? If you understand that you have to be under pressure for the universe to work for you. It can work through you. See, but you have to not stop. You have to not put that before. This is where a lot of people, they get lost. They get lost. They don't put goals down in front of themselves unless it's required. Okay? And it is almost as simple to put goals in front of yourself as it is to brush your teeth. You just have to start. You just have to realize that no matter what you're doing, you can achieve your dreams. And it really doesn't take away from you to achieve your dreams, okay? What happens is we get stuck on our dreams and then we lose them. And how do we lose them? We lose them by not really realizing that our dreams matter. We lose them by not really realizing that we can achieve them, okay? It's very difficult for one to achieve their dreams when their dreams are are being held down, okay? But you have to start your dream almost if you don't know a way you're going to achieve it, okay? You have to start your dream in a way in which it only happens when you put your mind into it. And a lot of the times, many times in fact, we forget about that. We forget about our dreams because, and here's the reason why we forget about our dreams. We let this little thing called the magnifier, okay? It's magnified by all the things that we let pile up before our dreams. We let the magnifier stop the fire. Broken focus. Fear is a broken focus, okay? Broken focus. Fear is a broken focus, okay? So the only thing that you have a fear of is that you can't achieve it and you can't achieve your dreams. So why stop working on your dreams? Why stop working at your being? And a lot of the times we put everything else in front of ourselves. You know, it doesn't work that way, friends. It works the way in which I remember this conversation going on about processes, and you know, and it's true. It's true that your process of being yourself will ultimately find a way to you. It will find you if you don't seek after it. It will eat you alive until you start to seek after your process. And within process, you become yourself. But you see, the thing is you will either become yourself under other people's self-worth, or you'll become yourself under your own self-worth. And as I'm on this video, I'm reminded that there was a period of time when I was selling cars that I wasn't putting in this kind of work. I was putting my energy, okay, which is the most valuable thing you have, okay? Think about emotion, energy in motion, okay? Think about motion, energy in motion. And think about how your energy has been spent. Think about how your jobs we're clocking into positions, guys. We're clocking into positions when we have other dreams that if we had just put in the same amount of time, we would have achieved our dreams, okay? If we really want to be ourselves, then we need to really be ourselves. Let it grow from within you. Let it grow from within oneself. And a lot of the time, we don't do that, okay? I own up to that, but I'm not going to let it continue. I'm not going to let the things that others do or say affect me, okay? Because when we do that, we shut ourselves down from our reality. And that's something that sometimes we have to face off against. It's something that we ultimately will need to overcome. And the biggest challenge that we face off against isn't on the outside. It's not our equipment, it's not our tools, it's not our people around us, it's ourselves. A lot of times we become enemies of who we are inside. We become enemies of that person who's supposed to become our best friend, because others want us to be a certain way, because others want you to be what they want you to be. When do you become you? When do you truly become who you are inside? What day do you start to become a part of your story? What day does your story start to matter? What day does your story start to manifest a reality that you are yourself? See, this is what I'm talking about. And when you speak out, you're manifesting your words. When you speak out, you're manifesting your reality. And it's quite opposite of that when you don't speak your mind, when you don't put in the time, and you don't put in the effort, and you don't put in the ability to use your gifts, your talents, and your abilities. See, because there's a time and place where your abilities start to open up, but there's a lot of this time when other people are going to be fighting you on your ability. They're going to fight you to not make sure it becomes possible. And inside of that place, I would recommend you to strip yourself of everything, to give up on everything else but your dreams, give up on everything else but your goals, to throw in the towel on everything that is not you, and to go all in on yourself. But you see, doing that is difficult because a lot of times we feel like we're giving up on people by being who we are within. But the truth is, you will truly grow, and the things that are meant for you will truly come into your life if you work on yourself, if you work on that internal being that nobody else will work on. If you'll put your mind at ease that it doesn't matter how much or how I'm going to make it, the way that I am is going to happen. It's going to be a part of my story. And my story is that I'm always progressing, that I'm always growing, that I'm always getting on here, and I'm going to always start clocking into work. I'm going to always start to put an effort into you guys that are the people in the universe and its people. Okay, so the universe has worked well in my life. It's worked well in my being. It's worked well in the whole of understanding. See, I have come across a lot of times where I feel like people have put a wall in front of themselves on a way to achieve their dreams. Let me say that again. A lot of times we put a wall in front of ourselves on the way to achieve our dreams. Okay. Why do we put walls in front of ourselves to achieve our dreams? That is a question that I've always come across, that I will always come across, that has bothered me like a fire inside, right? You know, it's like when I sit down and do meditation and I see this kind of walls in front of myself, or I see others with these kind of walls, when I see these kind of things that are happening, right? So a lot of times we beat ourselves up, man. Like we put it in ourselves in a box that we don't think we can work our way out of? How can we start to work our way out of the boxes that we put ourselves in life? How do we start to manifest things inside of ourselves when our challenges are brought up against us? And it doesn't stop. It will never stop. You will never stop fighting yourself. You will never stop going through challenges. What will happen inside of those challenges, you will grow. All right, okay. See, you're gonna face challenges just like I did. There was an area that was an off-road area, and the vehicle that I'm using is a high gas mileage vehicle. It's a 2005 Prius. You know, I've had my engine give out on me. I've had my transmission give out on me. I've had so many things happen to this vehicle, and it's still out here working to take care of me. I've had to replace it. I melted the engine, the transmission when the radiator line broke on the 17th. I have had to replace bearings. I've had to replace brakes. Speed sensors went out when they replaced the engine. I've had to replace my center console. I've replaced 3 of my ignition switches. I've replaced my battery in the back of the car 5 times. Got a lifetime warranty battery in the back of this car. They come out and they install it for me. I've had people tell me, why don't you just quit? I've had people tell me, it's not worth it, Marcel. It's not worth the challenge. I have a 2012 Kia Sorento that I now have I had the alternator go out on it. I had to replace the alternator. I've had to replace I've had to do updates on that vehicle. When I first brought that vehicle out here, the gasoline mixture between Camarillo and this area basically set off the sensor. So I had to go in for an update on that information, you know. But the thing is, it shows me, it proves to me that I'm doing the right thing, that I'm actually out here grinding for a purpose. You know, I'm gonna need to replace my tires on my Prius soon. I got a lifetime warranty bearings that I'll probably end up having to replace those soon. But the thing is, guys, don't give up. Don't ever give up. Don't ever feel like that. You know, some days your mind's gonna really jack with you, but it's not about that. Okay, it's not about giving up. It's not about giving in. It's about you. It's about your dreams. What is your dream? And my dream has always been to be the best meditator on the planet. That my whole entire purpose, my whole entire being would be about working with yourself, believing and building the strength inside of yourself. You hearing what I'm saying? Like, it's not just one day. It's not just 1 week. You're gonna have downtime where you're gonna have to go inwards, where no matter what you're doing, things aren't gonna work perfect. They're not going to always work perfect. So are you gonna give up, or are you gonna keep moving forward? Are you going to continue to go even when other people would throw in and give up? It's just so easy to go get a job, the 9 to 5. It's just so easy to want to please other people. But when you truly work on yourself, it's going to cost you everything you have. It's going to, you either have to truly be in on yourself, and a lot of people aren't willing to do that. They want to go work a 9 to 5 to have a solid paycheck because they agree to a certain amount of money. They agree to a certain amount of pressure. I mean, you don't have to do that to yourself, but you do have to find a process that works for you. You have to find a process that will truly find a way through your challenges. And it doesn't always work out, and it doesn't always work the way in which you imagine it to, okay? But it will work if you continue to push. If you continue to put your pedal to the metal, if you continue to put your mind into that place where you will come out the other side, and you will be okay if you continue. There will be people that will leave your life. There will be people who will not stick next to you, okay? But you have to get used to that. You have to get used to the mere fact that you are going to fail. Life is not designed always that you succeed. It's not designed that you don't have challenges. Okay, that's not the way life is. I'll be right back. softest food. Brightino. Okay. All right, back to it. Back online. So I got a Chick-fil-A pick up, drop off. You know, a lot of people try this job and they just give up. They just throw in the towel when it's difficult. And they say they can't do it because it's not reliable. But when looking back at every single job I've ever had in my life, the most reliable job I've had has been driving. So I don't really know what to say to those people except put in the time and the effort into what you want. I mean, I don't know what it's like to have a boss for a good last year, and I probably won't know what it's like to have a boss ever again, because that's not what I want in life, guys. And if you start asking yourself what you truly want, then you will start to truly achieve your dreams. When I first started driving, it was pretty cool. It was when Uber just started in San Diego. It had just started to blow up, and it was, nobody knew about it, and then everybody that did was using it, and it was great. It was amazing. But then time started to pass, and there came across a competitor called Lyft. And all of a sudden, this company that I actually started with, Lyft First, is showing up, going, "Hey, I want you to try me. I want you to try to give us a shot." And I did, and it's great, and it worked. But the problem wasn't that the matrix inside of that company. And this is what I've learned. You know, one day I was working on my Prius, and my dad told me a very interesting piece of advice. He said, learn the process of things. Learn how they work. Learn how you can utilize them, and learn how the system works. Because everything's got a system, okay? If your mind starts to have that system, you start to break through your mind. If you start to open your mind to things that will really help you in this process, if you truly want to grow, if you truly want that your challenges start to be overcome, then learn the processes required for those systems. And you know, that's what I've learned about meditation, is that when you utilize it, you grow. When you utilize it, you will start to find a part of yourself. And when your processes start to grow, that's when you start to grow. So here I am out here working on that process, right? Putting in the effort, the ability, and the mentality. Why would one want to throw that process away? Why would one want anything other than themselves? It blows my mind. because, I've seen a lot of people that they go get a job or they'll join the military, and then all of a sudden after the military they go back to working at Walmart. And I'm grateful that they served our country. How are they growing? Right? The question I have is, how does learning a process and a procedure and a set of procedures help a person to grow if they're not achieving their own dreams? Right? So what can we do inside to grow is truth. It's truth that if you don't grow, you die. Okay? If you don't find a way to grow, you will die. If you do not find a way to grow, you will be a slave to society. You will be a slave to your challenges. You will be a slave to the things that you're going through. And when you grow, you ultimately find yourself. When you grow, you ultimately find a part of who you are within. And that person inside of you, okay, that person that you are, that person who speaks to you at night, who speaks to you in the middle of the day, that says, I'm not earning enough, that I'm not doing enough, that I'm not achieving enough, that person is there for a reason. Okay, that person is there for you to start to listen to yourself, to listen to this is where I should, this is what I shouldn't be doing. That person is you. And that person can become stronger as you work on those things. That person can become stronger as you start to say no to the things that is not you and yes to the things that is you. But a lot of times when we're working on that person, we don't listen to that person, okay? We think that person, why would I ever want to listen to that person? Well, here's the reason why you want to listen to that person. Because how many people you know who work a job and they're unhappy? How many people you know that go to a position and they work so somebody else can make a profit off of them? Okay? And how many? Okay? So what does that mean? What is all of those people doing that system? What does that do for your growth? And the answer is it stunts you. It stops you from growing. Literally, you can be held back in a position for 10 years, stuck in a place inside of yourself where you're not growing, stuck inside of yourself where you're not using your dreams. You can be stuck in that kind of a place. And there's people that get stuck in those kind of places for 30 plus years, and then they retire, and their retirements aren't even covering what they would to even be able to cover their basic bills. So they work their whole life just to get to this place where they're not achieving their dreams. And the true question isn't, is it their fault? It's where their mentality is. See, a lot of people that want to blame it on their situation. There's so many different situations, you know? And think about this guy, right? So I was over in a place called University Heights. This is in San Diego. And inside this University Heights subway, there was this subway maker, and this guy was a master subway maker, like sandwich maker. And And so this master sandwich maker had a tip bar on the front of his position. And the thing that was quite impressive was his chip jar was maxed out, okay? And this guy, that was his dream to be a sandwich maker. It was his dream to as an artist, you grow in your craft, you grow in your abilities. Giving it a place of growth. What abilities does one have if one isn't putting in the time, the effort, and the mentality into that form of place? See, when I get online, you know, a lot of times we look at the position and we don't look at the gifts that we have inside, right? So why I like working with Uber is because as I'm out here driving, I'm working on myself. I'm either going to start putting out videos, I'm either going to start listening to podcasts and all of that other stuff and grow, you know. It's quite amazing that all the technologies that create a company, they're all available to you. You can start a job for yourself as easy as you can start working for somebody else. But you have to put your mind, it's where the mind is that separates the people who continue. It's where the mind is that separates the people who will grow. It's pretty cool that we have all this technology in front of us to where we can do these kind of things, you know? I never thought I'd be sitting in a car delivering food. I never thought that it took part of you to be yourself. It's been quite a journey to get where I am now, and I still have a lot of ways to grow, you know. But I hope that this hour of mentality starts to open you up to your mind, to your being, to your purpose. And that you'll truly start to believe in your dreams. You know, it's on a daily. See, this is how you can tell I'm not scripted, okay? I'm speaking my mind to you guys. I am telling you what's going on inside, what I think. When a lot of people ask me that question, but, you know, I remember when I would be sitting at a table, they would be saying, where do you get this stuff? Here it is. It's in my mind. Here it is. It's in that place within. You know, it's inside of you truly lays treasure, my friends. Inside of you truly lays challenges, and inside of you truly lays dreams. Is it up to you to find them? Yeah. Is it up to you to work with them? Yeah. Do a lot of people work on their dreams? No. Do a lot of people put their dreams first? No. Why? And that's the question. If I told you that it takes the same amount of time for you to achieve your dreams as it takes for you to work for somebody else, would you work on your dreams? Or would you work for somebody else? And that's the trade-off, to be real, to be truthful. What are you willing to apply your energy to? A guaranteed paycheck that one day you have to quit? Or would you work on yourself to the point where you never have to quit? You never have to give in. You never have to throw in the towel. You never have to give up. And a lot of people do give up. They give up because they don't know how to build themselves up. They don't know how, when things are fighting them, to use their gifts. But they're there. See, that's what I'm talking about, okay? It's there. It's a part of you, my friends. It's a part of your dream can become a reality if you're willing to work on it, is what I'm trying to say. It can become possible for dreams to become real if you're willing to put in the time, the effort, and the ability. And I've seen a lot of positions or jobs, like, I remember when I worked at a call center, like one of my favorite jobs I've ever worked was when I was working at a call center, because I was pushed to have to figure out how to make it happen, how to make it possible that I would still sell. You know, they had a board at the end of the wall and it said, if you don't sell by Friday, you're fired. And I stayed there for 3 years. I mean, I worked at a job where it's such a high demand and a high drop ratio that you have to open your mind. And I made it. And you can too. But you have to open your mind to what you want to achieve. You have to open your mind to what it means to be yourself. And a lot of people, they're not willing to do that. They're not willing to put in some time to work on themselves. Why? That's the question. I mean, like, why? Like, we fail no matter what we do. 1,000%, even if you're successful, you're still failing. Because in success, you've always got to grow, okay? In success, you always got to grow. And so, if you have a boss setting a goal in front of you, and you have a boss telling you that if you don't achieve this, you're gone. You know, it's truth be told. Is there? Well, I'm going to have to sign off for now, but I guess I need to start getting on here and I need to start getting this thing going. I set up a whole entire system in the car. We got an iPad, 3 cell phones, 2 cell phones are connected to the internet and 2 are tetherable. I mean, a tablet and a cell phone are tetherable. But I got to start putting in this kind of work. I got to start getting on top of what the universe is doing in my life. What does it mean to me? And I personally want to let David Goggins know that you inspire me by running and speaking your mind. I want you to know that when I saw your video of you speaking your mind, it reminded me of a lot of the universal forces that I faced off against inside. Like, it's great that you guys have a creed. It's great that you're a Navy SEAL. It's great that you've gone through all of this stuff. And when you talk about your lab, see, I want to challenge you to survive, okay? I want to take you guys out of this enough to just have a goal mentality. I want to take you out of this place of where a goal is enough. We got to get to the point where we are pushing ourselves to survive. And my vehicle, it started to have, I hit like some potholes and stuff, and it put me down for a few days. And then I heard David Goggins talk about your legs might fall off. And I said, oh, you trying to tell me no matter what it is, you got to put your mind in place? I got this. You got to put your mind in that place, guys. You got to sometimes sit back, look at the situation, and say, you know what? It's not that bad. It's not going to kill me. It's not going to stop me from growing. It's not going to stop me from becoming the ability to use my gifts and my talents. Just because things are not working perfect, just because things are not working in the way in which you thought they should work, doesn't mean that they don't work. So I want to say thank you to David Goggins for that blessing of a message, that gift, okay? And I want you to all know that as you become your best self, as you start to focus on being you, as you start to express yourself, you open yourself up for amazing things to happen in your life and in your dreams. The universe yields such wealth to the one that's willing to go inwards that it's quite amazing. And you deserve that yield. You deserve your dreams to come true. You deserve that you can achieve your dreams. But you got to get your mentality in a place where your dreams become that place. And a lot of times we forget about that. We forget to use that part of ourselves. I just hope you all have a blessed day. As always, namaste.